Homeowners in one North Fort Worth neighborhood woke up to an unsettling sight, and now they can't figure out if it was a prank or something more.
Ken Molestina is joining us. At the very least, this thing, Ken, I saw the signs. It's concerning, I mean, at the least.
They're
right?
wondering why, and exactly what was the intention in all of this. The neighborhood seemed to have been tagged with handfuls of signs printed on paper. Those signs read, "It's okay to be white." That's what was printed on them, but no one knows who put them up.
Here's what it looked like along Waverly Lane in North Fort Worth early Thursday morning. Cell phone video and pictures taken of the area showed the signs reading, "It's okay to be white," posted onto lampposts and other pieces of public property. By the time we got there, all of the signs except for this one were gone, but it didn't stay up too much longer.
I'm about as white and as old as you're going to get in this neighborhood.
Clearly, Lois Burt, one of the neighbors here, is opposed to the message, one that some have deemed as being discriminatory.
Flyer that's been making the rounds in one Beaverton neighborhood has some left wondering why.
Our Cole Miller looked into this. He joins us live from the Sexton Mountain neighborhood with more. Cole?
Well, Jeff, Jennifer, good evening. I'm told those flyers have been showing up on street lights, and they read, "It's okay to be white." One neighbor here telling me that this part of town is a melting pot, and she just wants everybody to feel safe.
And on a lamppost there, it was just right smack in my eye line. Like somebody had put it there intentionally. So I instantly ripped it down.
Mary Elizabeth Summer couldn't believe it. This flyer found just down the street from her front door. She says it made her so upset she took it home and then ran it through the shredder. Others around Beaverton's Sexton Mountain spotting them too.
It's really scary to me that there are people that would put up posters, go to the lengths to put up posters like this.
5 signs from an unknown source with an unclear message posted around a North Fort Worth neighborhood have people scratching their heads.
Ken Molestina joining us with what we know, and as of right now, it seems to be fairly little, right?
Yeah, not a whole lot, Doug and Gilman. Many people woke up this morning to find the signs out and about, and some have called them discriminatory because of the words on them. Here's what it looked like up and down Waverly Lane in North Fort Worth this morning. The signs printed onto sheets of paper read, "It's okay to be white." There were several of them posted onto lampposts and other pieces of public property. Neighbors we spoke to say they don't know if this is a prank or something more serious. However, they were sure that they just didn't like having them around there.
Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? It is okay to be white.
No, that's not okay. It's terrible to be white.
No.
No comment.
It is okay to be white.
Disagree.
No, y'all got too much. Yeah, y'all got too much.
Who want to be white? That's awful.
No.
It's okay. So why is that? Why is it not okay to be white?
Y'all have the race as a people. Y'all have done too much. I would rather
people.
Yeah, as a whole.
And it's a group of people.
Too much good or too much bad?
Too much bad.
The majority is not.
Is like bottom of the barrel, really.
Really?
Yeah.
And why do you disagree with that?
It's the whole privilege thing. It's just, time to give it to other people.
What should white people do about that?
There's not much y'all can do, but just gotta deal with it.
What should I do about that, do you think?
Try not to be white. That's all you can do at this point.
The results of the 2020 census just came out, and for the first time in American history, the number of white people went down.
My concern is doing away with whiteness. Whiteness is a form of racial oppression, sure. The suggestion is that it is somehow possible to separate whiteness from oppression, and it is not. There can be no white race without the phenomenon of white supremacy. If you abolish slavery, you abolish slaveholders. In the same way, if you abolish racial oppression, you do away with whiteness. Treason to whiteness is loyalty to humanity.
Your views are fairly well received in academia.
Yes, they're legitimate, not to say that everyone agrees, but sure. I could not point to any examples where it has provoked political censorship. Whiteness is an identity that arises entirely out of oppression. Whiteness is not a culture, it's not a religion, it's not a language, it's simply an oppressive social category. Blackness is an identity that can be plausibly argued. Black studies is the study of a people that has formed itself in resistance to its oppression. And the task is to bring this minority together in such a way that it makes it impossible for the legacy of whiteness to continue to reproduce itself.
At this point in time, Europe has not yet learned how to be multicultural. And I think we're going to be part of the throes of that transformation, which must take place. Europe is not going to be the monolithic societies that they once were in the last century. Jews are going to be at the center of that. It's a huge transformation for Europe to make. They are now going into a multicultural mode, and Jews will be resented because of our leading role. But without that leading role and without that transformation, Europe will not survive.
It's the end of days. You're going to need the iron of Esav, which represents Edom, which is the West, Europe, and the Americas, to get intermixed with Ishmael, which is basically Arabs and Muslims. How in the world was this ever going to happen if not for this refugee crisis? At the end of days, you're going to have this intermixing between Esav, Edom, which is the West, and the East, which is the Muslims and the Arabs, making this through this influx into the world. They're going to have a far larger birth rate than the indigenous people there, and they're going to sort of conquer by number. And there are many different sources for this, where there will be many, many people killed and so on and so forth. So the idea of having these refugees come into Europe, it's no longer a matter of whether it's right or wrong. It's just simply a fulfillment of what it was meant to be all along. This is the fulfillment of the Hazal and the prophecies. This has to happen, and this is just another sign that we are nearing, the completion of this tikkun of the entire world.
But we know one thing, right? That when it comes to the classic Rome, which is Europe, they're finished.
And you don't have to be a prophet or a great analysis for that. You have to open the TV or the internet and see that exactly what was prophesied then, that the sons of Ishmael are going to go and cause havoc around the world. So France is completely barbecued. England is next. Now half of Europe is completely half dead. Now look what's going on in America. So, now in a country near you.
The famous liquor and media magnate Charles Bronfman founded the Birthright Israel organization. Its purpose is to prevent intermarriage between Jews and Gentiles. In opposing mixing of the Jewish race with non-Jews, Bronfman says that, quote, You're losing a lot, losing the kind of feeling you have when you know that throughout the world there are people who somehow or other have the same kind of DNA that you have. Imagine if, say, Bill Clinton told a group of white college students how great it is that they have white DNA and that they should not lose it by marrying another race. If you think that Jewish extremists don't control the media, then please tell me how Bronfman and the Jewish racist state of Israel can get away with all this. A single obscure justice of the peace in a small Louisiana town said that black and white marriage was against his personal morals. It was reported all over the world as a horrific evil. But the entire state of Israel outlaws Jewish intermarriage, but there's no outrage in the press. And you must learn about this from me. The famous Rabbi Stephen Wise supported a Jewish racial state in Palestine. He supported massive immigration into Palestine to take over that country. At the very same time, he was a big supporter of non-European immigration into America and for undermining the white majority in America.